Walter Cronkite. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Walter Cronkite, but he was the anchor on the CBS Evening News, and he was considered at one point in time the most trusted man in America. Now, you compare that to the latest poll that was just released this last January, and it shows that the majority of Americans believe that journalists are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things that they know are false. How do we go from one extreme to the other? We were highly watched and highly trusted because we considered our only job to be providing fair, balanced, and accurate reporting of the news. I've lived by the tenet, and I learned this from an older woman who used to be the head of the business bureau in West Palm Beach. And she used to have a little sign on her desk, and it said, there are three sides to every story: mine, yours, and the truth. And I've lived by that tenet in journalism. I believe that is so true. Is as journalists, it's and people in communications all over, it's our responsibility to dig for the truth, to report opposing viewpoints, and to support the civil exchange of views, even views you find personally repugnant. I would urge you, if you're interested in journalism or communications, to read the Code of Ethics on the Society of Professional Journalists. We're living at a time right now where it's becoming very common for journalists to want to be commentators and commentators to want to be journalists. But who's actually giving us the facts? Those are two very different roles. Good journalists and basic standard reporting do not take positions. They double and triple check everything. The media has a responsibility to not just show one side of the story, but to report on the opposing viewpoints. Have any of you had an opportunity to watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix? It's really good. I hope you do. Aside from telling us just how much we're all being tracked through social media, my biggest takeaway is that social media is only feeding you the information that the algorithm says you want to hear. That means you're never hearing the other person's side of the story. There's no debate, no question, because the information you're getting is only telling one side. Well, when you hear one side of the story, it's pretty easy to conclude that that's the right side. On top of it, there's this sense that if you don't believe like I do, I don't want to hear from you. You know, I don't want to discuss this out. I don't want to hear your rationale for your beliefs. I just want to shut you down. Well, that's not free speech. A free country demands free speech, and free speech isn't always popular. This is a country founded on free speech and rigorous debate, if not for which we'd all still be saying, God save the Queen. You know, all the budding journalists out there, this is so critical for me in my belief system. You have to make a determination if this is your profession of choice. Do you want to be fair and unbiased, or do you want to promote a particular viewpoint? And you know what they call that when you promote a particular viewpoint? It's called propaganda.